Welcome to another edition of Survival Mode, where we give entrepreneurs a step-by-step roadmap to starting their own business. I'm Bert Robinson.
I'm Kevin Beers.
I'm Michael Grant Jr.
You can reach us by email at hello@survivalmode.live or check out our website at www.survivalmode.live. Let's get to it. Welcome back to another edition of Survival Mode. We're in step number 3, where you're building your business like a boss. Build your business like a boss. Now, we talked about your business planning. We've talked about your organizational structure, which, as a matter of fact, is the number one structure of your business model. Now we need to go to number 2. And what is number 2? Number 2 is understanding your operational structure. That is the second structure of your business model. Now, Michael, give me the definition of operational structure.
Okay. All right. So your operational structure is the structure to help facilitate your vision and or your business.
Oh, that was just sweet to the point, huh?
Real simple, right?
Okay, so we're talking about production now.
We're talking about production.
Okay, now we're going to get into the P's. And we're going to add more P's to this one here. Okay. And these are my favorite ones. Okay. These P's incorporate operational structure. That's production and profit, which are place and platform, personnel, procedures, processes, policies, all of those. Now, production and profits. I need to make sure that I can do the job, I can do my business, and I can produce and make a profit. And I need a place to do business. I need the personnel, but most importantly, I need the procedures. So we have to develop by demand. Now, when we say develop by demand, Michael, what is develop in your in what you refer to that as? And I'm going to ask Kevin about demand.
Okay. So when you develop, it's something that there's not one way on how you do it, but there should be a structured way and how you do that. Okay. So when it comes to your operation, you already know, according to your organizational structure, what you are going to be doing. And your operational structure is now built upon that. So now when you develop, you're developed according to what you know to do. So let's say, for instance, you have a restaurant. Okay, your organizational structure is a restaurant. But you know that now, at one point, I wanted to do a nice sit-down restaurant. But according to your research and development and according to your market analysis, the restaurant that you should be doing is a carry-out only. All right. So now, based upon the demand of the market, you're going to structure your operational structure accordingly. So it's the same food, okay, according to your organizational structure, but now you're going to actually design it and develop it so that you actually do the actual food in a carry-out format. Okay.
See, see, you always jumping in to Kevin's stuff because he was going to talk about demand.
It all
Slow
works
down,
together.
Michael.
It all
Slow
is a
down.
part. I'm sorry, Kevin, but it's a part.
Yeah, no, I agree with Michael. It all works together.
Indeed.
You get into that market analysis and you see that the demand is not for sit down, it's for takeout. If you want to make the money, you're going to do what the demand demands. Is exactly. I mean, that's why it's called demand. This is what your clients and your customers want. And if you give them what they want, they will buy from you. You'll make the money.
So I'm going to make the profit.
Yes. Now, if your clients or your customers are demanding a takeout restaurant, and you build a sit down restaurant anyway because that's what you want, odds are you aren't going to do very well.
But it's my business. Why can't I do what I want, Kevin?
You absolutely can do that.
Okay.
There's nothing stopping you from doing that.
Okay.
The fact that you may close down in 6 months.
Not okay.
Exactly. Now, we will also look at, well, because I've been to some places that are primarily takeout with a couple of tables for those few customers that do want to sit down. There's a pizza joint that I love going to. I like to sit down. I'm a sit down guy. So I go in, I get a couple of slices, and I sit down. I eat, and I'm gone. There's no sitting around talking, things like that, because it's not built for that. It's built for takeout. So you go in. If you do want to sit down, you can, but then get out.
So, I mean, so developed by demand offers the products and services based upon supply and demand that is present at the time of launching the company. Pretty much, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, when you get to this point, and I'm being the bad guy here. I'm normally the bad guy. When you get to this point, can you and you see that your market analysis is not going to put you in a great place because you see that there's a demand for takeout, but you've already started initially going for the sit down. What's going on here? I mean, can we now begin to the thought process of changing?
Okay, I got a question for you. Why did you plan on a sit down when you hadn't done your research yet?
Mm.
Ooh.
If you did your research, if you wait to do
Ooh.
your research, now maybe your intention was for a sit down, but once you look at the analysis, it says sit down is not a good idea. Well, actually, we haven't decided where we're going to be located yet. Maybe we can relocate somewhere where we can do a sit down. This is what the planning stage is all about.
And I say this because we have this particular situation going on right now with a client who's says I'm going to start something and then he wants to change around because he wants to do it his way. I'm like, okay, go ahead. Sometimes you just want to say go ahead and but you don't want to tell him to fail. So I have another sit down with him. We're all going to sit down with him again. But people have that mindset that they can handle it, they can do it. If you want to reach out to us, you know, email us at hello@survivalmode.live or our website at www.survivalmode.live. Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the things, this is why people like us in this platform are so important because sometimes people need to see themselves, but the only way that they can see themselves or challenge their way of thinking is by someone bringing it up to them. And so this is it's almost as if, as they say, a necessary evil. Sometimes you have to say something that may offend or hurt or strike someone in the wrong way, just to help them realize that they may see things from, they need to challenge their perspective. So,
Okay, why don't we, Kevin? Now you know how we do this. In our business, we disturb them. We
Mhm.
disturb them. We just tell them no, you can't do it. Let it go. Okay, listen, because you're going to make a financial decision that's going to put you in a precarious position and put your family in a precarious position later on. Sometimes you just got to be blunt and say no, don't do that.
Right. So sometimes I try not to be too blunt because my fallback is to be like I'm kind of like a 2x4 upside the head sometimes. So I really try to soften it, but I'm still saying the same thing. Like you want to build a sit down restaurant in a place that demands a takeout. Um, well, I guess my blunt way of saying it would be, are you stupid?
See,
But
see, that
but
see, and you
but
don't want to
see,
say that, and we're
no,
not going
and
to
I,
say that.
right, and I'm not going to say that directly, but that's the meaning behind it.
yeah,
I guess
so,
the way to say that.
right. So, what you're going to be really, well, one way you're going to be saying it indirectly is, why are you doing this if the market is telling you what they want? That means you're not doing it truly for profit. That means you're satisfying something, and now we're kicking into a whole other area
No, you're trying to
because
satisfy yourself. That's the thing.
Yeah, some
Okay,
kind of fulfillment of what you see instead of trying to get the profits.
Right. And I go back to the vision at this point and say, okay, let's look at your vision. What does your vision say? Now, if with what you're looking at this location by the water, the demand says takeout. If you want sit down, let's rethink this and maybe by the water, because you can't have both. You can be by the water or you can have a sit down. You can't have both based on what we see.
that sometimes we have to let people know that this when you started your vision, were you honest about your vision? Were you honest about everything? Because changes sometimes come about when you don't give all the information in the beginning and say, this is exactly what you want. And then you start thinking and you start thinking and you go home and you start thinking and want to change things of your vision because you like this idea better. You've got to start out in the beginning, being honest with yourself and honest with others. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, and I also want to say this. You have to be open-minded. You don't know everything. So you may have an idea or a vision for something, but of your facts, not your feelings, if your facts are telling you, according to your research, according to your market analysis, etc., if it's telling you that this is not the best way to do this, to conduct this, or to carry out this, be open-minded enough and not so stubborn to say, you know what, I'm going to do what's best for the organization, not to satisfy my feelings.
All right. And Kevin, you promise not to use the 2x4?
I yes, I struggle with that sometimes, but I will not do it.
All right, Kevin, where can they reach us?
Okay, you can reach us by emailing at hello@survivalmode.live, or you can also go to our website at www.survivalmode.live. After the show is over, we are going to do a deep dive, and that will be on the website. The deep dive is really expanding on these ideas that we're talking about because we can't put it all in 12 minutes. And we will be back shortly.